Hello traders and welcome out to your daily currency recap. This is Ankit here and let's break down today's market price action. It's a Tuesday, July the 2nd. It's a holiday shortened week, so we'll kind of keep it short. Let's take a look at what's happening in the broader market analysis, then take a look at currency baskets, and then we'll take a look at some possible setups ahead. Let's get into it.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
As we jump into our market analysis, let's just jump right into the headlines and numbers. And headlines, well, we're just seeing a bit of a rise at the top end of the range. So we have seen in equity markets sort of consolidating here. So today we just got to the top of the range. Could we break out higher? I kind of doubt it here. Again, we'll see what happens. This is, like I said, it's a holiday shortened week with the 4th of July, Thursday being a off day in the markets. Again, I think this is a good week where we might just consolidate. Now, if we just take a look at the numbers, you can see that the numbers, Canadian dollar is the best outperformer. And a lot of these currencies are kind of doing exactly what we discussed in the currency room. We have the Swiss franc continues to underperform. We had the yen continues to underperform. And CAD, again, we liked it better than the dollar, and that continues to be doing so. Now, the Kiwi has stayed at 0%. Again, it's not really moving higher or lower. So Kiwi is really stuck, range bound, not moving much. Aussie, on the other hand, is holding in, but again, not a whole lot today. So you can see that we are seeing things move, but there are a handful of things moving. And this is why it's important to trade what's moving. If you're trading the euro right now, or the Aussie or the Kiwi, clearly they were not the big mover today. The pound was the nice mover. CAD is the nice mover against the dollar. Even Swiss franc and yen, again, looks the best on the short side. Now, if you take a look at the equity markets, we're kind of seeing a little bit of rebound here, both the S&P and the Qs back at the top of the range. Crypto had just hanging in there and not a whole lot happening in oil and gold market. Now, in the crypto world, well, what we see here, well, Bitcoin continues to be the underperformer. And I think this is a bit of a red flag here, as the Bitcoin being really going to drive the cryptos here, and they are not looking so good here. Both Ethereum and the Bitcoin look pretty weak. So the outlook hasn't changed for the crypto markets. Now let's just take a look at the numbers. Here we are in the equity market. We're still at a +3. Now if we take a look at this range, this is what I talked about, how we are just at the top of the range. So is this a confirmed breakout? We need another candle up on the above the resistance here. So again, usually with this kind of price action, sometimes we get a false breakout and falls back in range. So I'd rather play the range here. Don't really expect the market's just gonna take off with this low liquidity out in the market this week. With Wednesday to Thursdays, I think things gonna be on the quiet side here. Now, if we take a look at the schedule this week, again, it's a handful of news events that we are going to drive the markets. Again, take a look at, not a whole lot. We had the numbers today. The economic numbers were strong, but then we were looking at the Powell. I think that was a little bit dovish. So really mixed numbers. We had the ISM yesterday, and that was 48.5 versus 49.2. So not a whole lot. As we go into tomorrow, I think this is where we might see some activity in the morning, and things will just quiet down as traders take off for the holiday. And then we have Friday being the job support. So out of this entire week, I think I really like Friday. Just show up on Friday. I think there'll be a good trading opportunity on the news on either direction. Now, Wednesday, half a day in the morning, that's pretty much it. And then not really looking to trade on Thursday either. So let's just jump into our currency analysis and take a look at what the velocity scores are telling us. And we would like to take a look at the velocity score. Well, pound and the CAD is the one that's moving. And we have the yen and the Swiss franc that's moving to the downside. These are the only 4 currencies that I'm really considering here. The dollar will be on the shelf till Friday when we get the job support. But outside of that, Kiwi, Euro, I think we're just going to be on the sideline here. So let's just jump into possible trades ahead. And let's take a look at some setups.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
And based on what we discussed, let's just take a look at the Swiss franc here. As I've said before, I like the Swiss franc, the short side. You can see this is right at that prior support. And I think this is where there's definitely a lot more room for this to fall, especially look at the rally that we had since June. This little, pretty aggressive rally is just slowly tumbling away. So we discussed what's performing the best and the worst. So let's take a look at CAD Swiss franc. This was the top of the list for me in the last couple of weeks, and so far you can see this thing is just moving very nicely. First we got long off the high base here, and then it got broke out, and over here too, a little shallow pullback, and here we are back up the resistance. So after every run we probably go sideways a little bit, and that's where we gather some energy. And then if you look at the direction on a daily chart, this looks beautiful. Again, we are running into this prior resistance, so prior support, not resistance, but I think if it breaks above this level, we're looking at about 67 as the next level of resistance. So that one goes in the top of the list. We can also take a look at pound yen. And you can see that pound yen is the one also moving very nicely here. Now the big question is that whenever you see a run like this, where do I get long? Well, off the pullbacks is really where you want to get long. You can see there's a lot of consolidation that takes place before things just takes off a run. So this is where, if it's hard to time things, you can just put buy stops and sell stops at these support and resistance levels. I think if it breaks out, it gives you a decent opportunity. So these are the two that I really like here. I think we can also take a look at CAD against the yen, which again, following the same suit, looking for high base pattern to continue breaking out. And then we take a look at the pound. I mean, we already looked at pound against the yen, but let's take a pound against the Swiss franc, and that looks very similar as well. So again, these are the ones that are really moving. Now, the big question is, what time frame should I base it on? When volatility is low, I find it best to go higher time frame. 4-hour chart looks pretty good here. But as we go into Friday, when we get the job support, I think that's where I will go shorter term, because don't want to hold that trade over the weekend. But I think that's where we're going to look for some shorter term opportunities. And I think in this case, you can see that the dollar has been pretty much a range bound. It did break out here. So if it dips below here, I would kind of look for any sort of buying opportunity here. This is not a strong price action. This is sideways. But again, within the sideways range, we can look for support and resistance as our buying and selling opportunity. So at that point, I'll shift my focus into currency pairs like the Kiwi dollar or even dollar Swiss franc, which, as you can see, has moving very nicely. This is also one of those trending moves here as well. So if I really want to go the dollar long, this is the currency pair I would like to go into, both the dollar Swiss franc and the dollar yen. It will be my pick of currencies going into Friday. But till then, continue trading those Swiss franc processes. I think they'll probably do well. And in conclusion, be selective. This is where you want to be, especially when there's lack of volatility in the markets. You can see that what's moving, pound CAD, what's moving here, Swiss franc yen. When things are stuck in the middle, you kind of look at it on a day-to-day basis, where things are moving well on trend score and velocity score. That's where you can expect some more continuity. So those are the ones I'll be looking at. But like I said before, this is a holiday shortened week. These are the weeks where I'm very light on my activity and be selective. And I think that's really where you want to be. And then as things go back to normal, Friday and going to next week, you'll probably see a lot more activity and a lot more trading opportunities. Well, thanks for joining here. Enjoy your rest of the week. And again, enjoy your happy 4th of July coming ahead. And we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.